There were times I could simply be surrounded with thousands of people, but still feel lonely. It's not what you're surrounded with. It's with what you are connected. And there I felt like there is always, again, this type of force. What is it that drives you on? Going outwards, going outwards, going outwards, you lose yourself. But this self is the only thing that can give you connection in this life. I do believe that we all have a source. There is a source. Whether you call that source is the universe, whether you call the source it is the God, whether this source is the infinite energy, I don't know. There's so many different expressions to it. But when I look at all these teachings, all are always pointing at one and the same thing. Let's just take the expression of yin and yang, the symbol everybody knows in the world. And there is that nice saying, yin and yang have a mother. The mother sometimes simply being illustrated as one circle. So yin and yang as the expression from duality, polarity, existence of number two. And where do two come from? They must come from one. So simple like in our way, you are there, I am here, one, two, where do we come from? There must be something that we have as a common denominator. And this source is the only thing that can connect us. Because it's not your family, it's not my family, they're still different. That is not enough. Going just looking at we are humans, animals same. Whatever and whoever gave us the possibility to be here is the same who gave you the permission, is the same who gave me the permission and the blessing. This is the level of mind. This is the level of connection that never leaves you lonely. Your best friend or your best girlfriend gonna ask you, so how was this conversation? And even so that we are maybe just talking 3 hours, 4 hours, even if you spend 2 days long explaining to your best friend how this conversation was, it's not the truth. It is not the truth. How is this conversation? How is this conversation? Even right now, we cannot even speak about it. I tell you how this conversation right now really is. Yes? How you want to describe this? You will be the only one ever knowing how this is. It doesn't matter who's going to ask you afterwards, what you're going to tell them. You want to feel it? You need to experience it. There is no other way. And this is the nature of words. This is why these ancient stories come. For example, one master and his student walk up on a mountain early in the morning, then the sun rises up, and then the student says, "Oh master, what a beautiful sunrise." And then like the master slaps him and never takes him to a walk anymore. Then you say, why was the teacher so hard to him? Because in the moment where you give something that you experience, a word, you limit its nature. You naturally limit its nature. How does this now translate into what we can do with this knowledge? Whatever is being dense and it's limiting, I don't think it's the way. I think everything for us to practice is look beyond limitations. Look beyond the words. Look beyond the shape. Practice to look beyond the superficiality of things. Because this is where the meaning lies, or this is where part of the realization lies. Yeah, you don't need to go anywhere. The only thing you need to do is take a moment, contemplate about yourself, go into yourself and find the answers there and then decide for yourself which part and what type of contribution would you like to give to the world that you're living in. I ultimately think this is what I'm doing. I would say it's diversity and choice. This world is filled with so much choice, meanwhile, that it's difficult in a way to take a decision which direction to go, what is right to do, what is not right to do. But ultimately, it's only yourself who knows the answer, which means it comes to the essential point: learn more about yourself. This is where it starts. Because if you have the wrong perspective of who you are, what you are, everything else in this lifetime you base your decisions on is just not going to be placed in the right direction. At the end, it's the same. At the end, it all leads to the one. That's my belief.
What do you mean by the one?
We all have a root. Everything in this world has a root. Everything has a beginning in a way, or at least a beginning in the sense that you can trace back where also us come from. Why do I dress the way how I dress? It's because of my past. Why do I talk the way how I talk? It's because everything that happened in the past. Why do I look the way in the face how I look? Because everything in the past. But not just in the past that I am aware of being alive, because my face also, I think my ancestors 20 generations before me had the same facial expressions. So what it means for me is that from the far, far past, still some type of information, in this case biological wise, is transferred into the present. So this is now we're talking about biological. Now in my worldview, I don't think we humans are only made out of biology or only made out of atoms. Besides the matter, besides the physicality that we have, it might be now a belief, I don't know. But for me, it's very clear that beyond the physicality, there is another layer about us that I, for example, would call a spiritual area. It is an area that you cannot put into form. I cannot show you. I cannot show you my mind. I cannot show you my energy. I cannot show you my spirit. I can show you my body. I can show you my organs. I can show you my skin. All of this, but I can't show you this non-physical area. But for me, it's in a way a logical consequence that these two areas, physicality and spirituality, go hand in hand.